Imagine opening your analytics dashboard and seeing this sudden, just massive cliff.
Oh, yeah. The absolute worst feeling.
Right, like just a flat line where your most valuable traffic used to be.
Yeah.
And, you refresh the page, you check your server status, you're thinking, okay, maybe something is broken on my end.
Yeah, you're looking for any technical glitch.
Exactly. But everything on your end is technically flawless. It's perfectly fine.
Hmm.
But 34.5% of your top-tier organic traffic has just completely vanished into thin air.
I mean, it is the kind of scenario that sends an absolute chill down the spine of any business owner or publisher. It feels like a manual penalty. It feels
Yeah.
like someone, somewhere, just flipped a switch in a server room and decided your business doesn't matter anymore.
It really does. But what you are looking at is actually the new normal. You are looking at a fundamental, really a seismic shift in the architecture of the internet itself.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So on this exact date, Saturday, 2026-07-11, we are zeroing in on a critical document for this deep dive. It's the SEO Daily Technology Report, and that was compiled by Keyhawk's ASR bot fleet for 2026-07-11.
A really comprehensive report, by the way.
It is, yeah. So our mission for this deep dive is to basically cut through the panic that is happening across the digital landscape right now. We're going to give you a clear, very practical roadmap for not just surviving, but actually thriving in this new era of AI-driven search. And we want to do it without making you feel, completely overwhelmed by all the technical jargon.
Because the sheer volume of changes to how machines process human information in 2026 is, frankly, it's staggering. It's a lot to take in.
It really is.
But when you break it down into the underlying mechanics, a very clear, very logical pattern emerges. We are actively moving from a web of scattered hyperlinks to a web of structured, synthesized answers. The entire contract between the user and the search engine has just been completely rewritten.
Okay, let's unpack this, because we have to start with the immediate pain point that is causing that 34.5% drop in clicks we just mentioned. The Keyhawk report points the finger directly at Google AI overviews.
Right.
They aren't just like an experimental feature anymore. As of 2026-07-11, they are appearing on the vast majority of both informational and commercial queries.
Yeah, they are everywhere now.
And if that wasn't enough, Google's new AI mode, which is their conversational interface, competing directly with ChatGPT, it's fracturing the traditional search results page even further.
Well, what's fascinating here is that for 20 years, the user contract with a search engine was incredibly simple, right? A person types in a query, the engine provides 10 blue links, and the human does the actual work of clicking and reading and synthesizing all that information.
Basically doing their own homework.
Exactly. But now the AI does the reading. It synthesizes multiple sources into this highly personalized session-based experience. Users are accepting these AI-generated answers and getting exactly what they need without ever clicking through to the original source material.
It makes me think of an analogy. It's like we have moved from a traditional library where you browse the stacks, you pull out a few books, and you flip through the pages yourself, to suddenly having this incredibly, maybe overly helpful librarian.
Oh, I like that.
Right. So you walk in, you ask a question, and the librarian just stands there and reads you a perfectly synthesized summary of 5 different books.
Yeah.
And if you are the author of one of those books, and you are explicitly mentioned in the librarian's summary, you essentially don't exist to that reader.
That dynamic right there highlights why the strategic priority for anyone publishing online has completely shifted. Chasing position number 1 on a traditional search engine results page, it's no longer the primary objective.
It's just not enough anymore.
No, it's not. Earning what the Keyhawk report calls cited in AI status is the new holy grail. If you aren't the source material that the AI trusts enough to cite in its overview, you face this compounding visibility gap.
Compounding meaning it just gets worse over time.
Exactly. Less visibility means less traffic, which means less brand awareness, which systematically reduces your chances of being cited by the AI in the future. It's a vicious cycle.
So if the AI is acting as this ultimate gatekeeper, how do you actually get the librarian to mention your specific book?
Well, the report states that structured data markup, authoritative citations, and clear factual writing are absolute non-negotiable prerequisites now.
So no more just keyword stuffing.
Right. It's no longer about stuffing a specific keyword phrase into a paragraph, 5 or 6 times. It is about writing in a way that a machine learning model can instantly verify as factual and authoritative.
Verify against what, though? Like its own training data?
Essentially, yes. The AI needs to be absolutely confident in your content to risk its own reputation by citing you to the user. Hallucinations are the biggest threat to an AI platform's user base, right? So their algorithms aggressively favor verifiable facts over flowery marketing copy. But here is the other massive shift happening on 2026-07-11.
Okay.
Google is no longer the only librarian in the building.
Right, because if that traditional Google traffic is dropping by 34.5%, those users haven't just, like, logged off the internet. They didn't throw their computers away.
Oh, they're definitely still searching.
Where are they going? Well, the report maps this out really clearly. They are migrating to ChatGPT, to Perplexity, to Gemini, and to Claude. Brands that are optimizing exclusively for Google are missing roughly half of the AI-driven discovery ecosystem right now.
And half the market is a staggering number to just ignore. I mean, this fragmentation is why Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, has moved from being this sort of fringe experimental tactic a few years ago to absolute table stakes today. And the key to understanding GEO is realizing that these AI platforms are not a monolith. They do not evaluate or reward content the exact same way. They have distinct personalities and distinct mechanical rules for what they consider to be a quote-unquote good answer.
So how distinct are we talking? Like, are they really that different under the hood?
Very distinct. The Keyhawk report actually breaks down the algorithms. Let's look at Perplexity. It's built heavily on a retrieval augmented generation framework.
Okay, RG.
Right. Its primary directive is finding and linking to verifiable claims. It prioritizes recent authoritative sources with verifiable citations. It essentially wants the receipts.
It wants proof. Okay, what about ChatGPT?
ChatGPT, on the other hand, favors conversational depth and demonstrated experience. It's a bit more focused on the EAT signals, which we'll get into later.
Okay, and then there's Claude.
Yeah, Claude is built with a totally different architectural focus. It is looking for nuanced, well-reasoned argumentation over shallow keyword matching. You cannot just write a superficial top 10 list and expect Claude to cite it as a definitive source. You need depth and logical progression.
Wow. That sounds incredibly complex to manage on the back end.
That's all.
How does a website actually communicate with all these different AI crawlers at once?
Yeah.
Because they all want different things.
Well, the source highlights the rapid adoption of the llms.txt file standard. Websites are now placing this right alongside their traditional sitemaps.
Right, the llms.txt file.
Exactly. Unlike a traditional robots.txt file, which mostly tells search engines what not to crawl to save bandwidth, the llms.txt file is purpose-built to influence which content surfaces in AI-generated answers.
Okay.
It provides this clean, machine-readable directory that guides large language models directly to the priority content on a site, completely stripping away all the navigational clutter.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. By creating this llms.txt file, aren't we basically just handing over our absolute best content on a silver platter?
I know, it sounds counterintuitive.
Right. We are essentially telling the AI, here, take my most valuable research, summarize it perfectly for your user, and keep them on your platform. Why would any brand willingly facilitate the theft of their own traffic?
This raises an important question, and it really represents the central paradox of the web as of 2026-07-11. The reality is the AI platforms are going to crawl your site regardless.
They're going to take it anyway.
Exactly. They are going to extract the information whether you help them or not. So the llms.txt file is not about giving them permission. It is entirely about controlling the narrative.
Okay, so it's a defensive strategy.
A completely defensive. If you don't provide an llms.txt file, the AI crawler will just grab whatever it parses first, which might be, an outdated blog post from 2022 or a badly formatted FAQ section or a stray comment that takes your brand completely out of context.
That would be a disaster.
Right. So by providing that specific file, you are prioritizing what the AI sees. You are serving up your most accurate, most up-to-date, most brand-aligned information. You are actively shaping the summary that the librarian gives to the user. Sites that ignore this standard risk being misunderstood or completely overlooked.
Okay, I get that. But if a marketing team tries to manually track that visibility across Google, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude, while also managing llms.txt files and all these different optimization strategies, I mean, they're going to lose their minds.
Oh, yeah. It's too much data for a human to process.
So how are people actually managing this fragmentation on the ground?
They aren't doing it manually. The Keyhawk report highlights the rise of AI-assisted command centers. Look at Semrush, for example. It remains the dominant all-in-one platform, running about $119.95 a month for the Pro tier.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, but the difference in 2026 is their Copilot feature. It uses generative AI to actually interpret the performance data for you. It doesn't just give you a spreadsheet of numbers anymore. It analyzes the multi-channel performance across traditional search and AI discovery, suggests strategic actions, and even automates client reporting.
And it integrates directly with Google AI Overviews tracking, which is huge.
Ah,
But the report also calls out Ahrefs as the backlink and rank tracking powerhouse.
Ahrefs has always been the gold standard for technical infrastructure, and their 2026 AI-assisted Site Explorer is crucial because of its velocity. It's $99 a month for the light tier, but their link index now updates every 15 to 30 minutes for top domains.
Wow, every 15 minutes.
Yeah, that speed matters when AI overviews are shifting constantly. Their AI automatically identifies link anomalies, toxic patterns, and spots competitor link gain opportunities in real time.
And then you add content optimization into the mix, because the report details how AI-first SEO automation platforms have completely matured to handle all of this. We're talking about Surfer SEO using natural language processing to analyze semantic gaps in real time. We have platforms like AirOps handling multi-model support, so that's across GPT, Claude, and Gemini simultaneously. There's Koala AI providing a unified workspace, and WriteSonic generating long-form content tied directly to schema markup.
It seems like SEO has shifted into a fully semi-automated production pipeline.
It absolutely has, but
But wait, this is what I keep coming back to. If I'm using Koala AI to write my content based on Surfer SEO data, and my competitor is using WriteSonic based on the exact same Surfer SEO data, aren't we just flooding the internet with identical homogenized content?
yes.
Aren't we just creating this massive ocean of perfectly optimized boredom?
That is the exact trap that companies are falling into right now, and the Keyhawk report explicitly warns about this homogenization. While these automation tools are necessary to operate at scale, human oversight remains absolutely critical. AI search engines in 2026 are actively handing out penalties for homogenized content.
Really? How does an AI even detect that? Does it just like look for AI-generated text and flag it? No, it's deeper than just detecting AI text. Because everyone is using AI to some degree now. The models analyze the predictability of the information. If your content lacks original insight, if it merely regurgitates the exact same semantic consensus as the top 5 results, without a unique point of view or proprietary data, the AI crawlers simply categorize it as redundant data.
And they just ignore it.
They ignore it. You use the tools for efficiency, to gather data and format schema, but humans must inject the strategic direction, the contrarian opinions, and the unique value.
So you can't just set the machines to talk to each other and walk away to play golf.
Definitely not.
But let's assume you do have great human-guided content. According to the report, that is still only half the battle. Because what happens after the AI cites you? The report moves into a concept called agentic backend optimization. And honestly, this completely changes the definition of what a website is even supposed to do.
Oh, this is perhaps the most profound technical shift of 2026. We are moving from AI that simply answers questions to AI agents that actually take actions on behalf of the user.
Right, the report explicitly states that AI assistants are now expected to book appointments, make purchases, and retrieve personalized information. To allow a machine to do that on your website, your back-end architecture has to be absolutely flawless.
Boss!
We are looking at new, really rigid standards like the Agentic Commerce Protocol, or ACP, for e-commerce, and the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, for subscription services.
Think of it this way. For the last 20 years, you designed your e-commerce store for a human to wander around, right? To look at the pictures, read the descriptions, put things in a cart.
Like a digital storefront.
Exactly. Optimizing for the Agentic Commerce Protocol is like putting highly scannable barcodes and perfectly clear digital aisle labels on your back-end server. You're designing the infrastructure so an AI robot shopper can instantly zip in, verify the inventory data, execute the transaction via a secure API handshake using the user's stored credentials, and leave with zero friction.
Wow.
The human user never even sees your homepage.
That is wild. The user just says to their phone, get me my usual shampoo. The AI pings your server. The server confirms inventory through the ACP, and the sale is made in milliseconds.
Yep. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is exactly why entity SEO has completely overtaken traditional keyword optimization. An AI agent trying to buy shampoo doesn't understand a keyword string like best hydrating shampoo 2026.
It doesn't care about the marketing copy.
Right. It understands entities, specific things, concepts, brands, products, and prices.
So how do we actually define those entities so the AI robot shopper knows exactly what it's looking at?
Through aggressive, highly accurate, structured data, the report highlights that JSON LD schema markup is no longer an optional enhancement for, like, better search appearance. It is a core functional requirement.
Like FAQ schema, how-to, product schema.
Exactly. Think of JSON LD like a universal translator hidden in your website's code. A human sees a picture of a bottle and a price tag. The AI just sees pixels and raw text. JSON LD explicitly tells the AI, this is a product entity, the brand is XYZ, the price is $20, it is currently in stock. You are removing all the guesswork so the agent can just execute the task.
We are essentially translating our businesses into machine code. But that brings up a fairly existential concern for anyone in marketing. With hyper-advanced AI generating the content, formatting the JSON LD schemas, and AI agents executing the purchasing through automated protocols, what keeps this entire system from just collapsing into a giant, meaningless AI feedback loop?
That's the big fear, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, how does a brand actually stand out when machines are pretty much exclusively talking to machines?
The answer to that is, perhaps surprisingly, the most human element of all: undeniable brand authority.
So what does this all mean? Amidst all this hyper-advanced machine code and automated agentic protocols, the ultimate anchor for visibility in 2026 is just old-school human reputation.
Without a doubt. The report focuses heavily on EET: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. In 2026, this has evolved from a soft guideline into a hard, algorithmic ranking factor. It started with your money or your life topics.
Like finance and healthcare.
Right, but it has bled into every vertical.
But why does the AI care so much about brand authority if it just wants raw data to complete a task?
Because the AI needs a signal of trust that cannot be easily spoofed by another AI. AI overviews aggressively favor branded, authoritative content over sources that are well optimized but totally unknown.
Interesting.
An unknown site with perfect llms.txt files and flawless JSON LD schema will still lose to a messy website from a highly trusted real-world brand.
Just because of the trust factor.
Exactly. The AI algorithms look for a multi-platform presence, they look for real-world press mentions, they look for industry citations.
Yeah. Actually, the report mentions that AI platforms literally track branded search volume as a core metric, meaning the more actual human beings type your specific brand name into a search bar, the stronger your entity signals become to the AI.
Because if people are actively seeking you out by name, that tells the AI you are a real, trusted entity in the physical world, not just a digital mirage created by Koala AI to capture traffic. Genuine brand building is the only thing that translates directly to algorithmic resilience against these massive AI core updates. If you have real authority, the AI engines have no choice but to cite you, because their users demand accurate, trusted information.
It is a beautiful irony. The ultimate, most highly technical AI SEO strategy required on 2026-07-11 is actually the most human one. You have to invest in genuine thought leadership. You have to execute real-world digital PR. The Keyhawk report concludes that SEO and PR are no longer separate departments. They're inseparable disciplines.
They absolutely have to work in tandem. PR creates the digital footprint of authority, and SEO translates that footprint into the machine-readable entities and agentic protocols the AI needs to actually take action.
Which gives us a very clear, actionable summary for you, the listener, as you navigate this shift. Whether you are running a massive e-commerce empire or a highly niche consulting business, you are part of this new AI discovery ecosystem.
Your action plan moving forward relies on 4 pillars. First, stop obsessing over keyword strings and start defining your entities clearly with robust JSON LD schema. Second, embrace the llms.txt standard to defensively guide the AI narrative on your own terms.
Right.
Third, if you offer transactions or bookings, start preparing your back-end architecture for agentic actions using ACP or MCP.
And finally, anchor all of that technical wizardry to real-world brand authority. Adapting to this right now means staying visible and indispensable while your competitors slowly fade into the background noise of the internet. It is a lot to process, but it's an incredible opportunity to capture market share if you structure it correctly.
It is a total re-architecture of digital discovery, and the brands that lay the infrastructure now will be the default answers for the next decade.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final, slightly mind-bending question to ponder. We talked about how agentic commerce protocols are allowing AI assistants to make purchases and book services on our behalf. So how long until we aren't optimizing our marketing for human searchers at all.
Oh, man.
Right. How long until we are designing entire marketing campaigns where our brand's AI essentially pitches directly to the consumer's AI, negotiating the sale in milliseconds behind the scenes?
That is the frontier we are rapidly approaching, and it will require an entirely new playbook.
It certainly makes you wonder. If your analytics dashboard shows a massive drop in traffic today, don't panic. Just remember, the librarian changed the rules of the library. It's up to you to make sure your book is the one they recommend.